How's it going, everybody? I finally have a free Saturday for families and fish keeping. It's been crazy around here lately. Not seeing, it's not showing that anyone is in here yet, but if anyone can let me know if audio and video are good, I would appreciate it because I was having sound issues, which is why it took me so long to actually start the live. I planned on starting on time. Unfortunately, it just didn't work that way. I do see Ian Atkins Nature Aquariums in the house. Hey, Ian, how's it going? Jeremy, audio, video, good. Great. Awesome. I don't, for some reason, I just didn't have any sound when I first tried all of this, and I had to do a lot of crazy stuff to get it to actually work. So hopefully everybody is having a good weekend. Our weekend so far has been quite eventful. Um, we had some pretty intense storms that moved in on Monday night, caused a lot of people to lose power throughout the area. Not only that, but it was also, high 90s with a high heat index. So it was well over 100 degrees with the humidity and everything. Um, and in all of that, our refrigerator decided that it was just going to stop working. The compressor decided it was done. Um, so we were basically getting food on a daily basis instead of, going to the grocery store and actually buying a whole bunch of stuff because we didn't have any way to keep it cold. But we got a new fridge yesterday, thank goodness. And then last night, our kitty cat had herself another kitten. So that was fun and interesting. Jenna P, hello. It's good to see you. Yeah, so, and for some, this kitten, she's so stinking small that she's only having one kitten at a time, which I am completely thankful for. Um, but it's still like, oh my goodness gracious, because you have to be with her and make sure everything is okay. This one was actually born head first, like they're supposed to be, which was great. And it's also a lot smaller than its sister. We think it's a boy, but we're not. I'm fairly certain it's a boy, but I'm not 100%. So anyway, he's super cute. So how is everyone else's weekend going so far? Hopefully it's not too hot where you are. Hopefully you're having a good Father's Day weekend if you are a father. Yeah. A little bit stressful. The refrigerator situation and the cat having another kitten, definitely stressful. The fridge, like I said, we had delivered yesterday. We immediately got it set up, so I was able to actually go to the grocery store today and um, stock up on some things, which was nice. It was getting really old stopping at the grocery store every day after work. Um, but that's taken care of. So, and Mama Cat is doing great with her kitten. She was great with the last kitten. So, it's just the delivery part is really stressful because she's so young and she freaks out. And yeah, but we managed. Let's see what else we have going on. Oh, I believe if everything works out the way it's supposed to, we will be getting a few more cichlids. I don't know how many of you remember there is a person local to here that had some cichlids that she needed to get rid of, rehome, if you will, because she was having problems with her water parameters, and these guys were getting beat up by the other fish. So long story short, I went and I got those. Well, she just reached out to me yesterday and asked me if I wanted the remaining ones that she had because she's still struggling with water parameters and she's just over it. So she's going to get out of the hobby um, for a little while. So I'm supposed to go and pick these fish up sometime early afternoon tomorrow. I told her I was only available for a certain amount of time because obviously tomorrow is Father's Day. I'm not going to spend my whole time going and rescuing fish. Um, just not going to happen. So hopefully it all works out. Um, Ian, yes, only one kitten. So here's, I hate to keep going back to this because this is supposed to be a fish channel with fishy chat, but basically she isn't even, the mama isn't even a year old yet. And this is her second batch, if you will. But she's still so small that she's only having one kitten at a time, which I think is very strange. But again, I'm not complaining because the more there are in a litter, the harder it is to keep everybody wrangled up and together and make sure everybody is safe. So one kitten is so much easier to handle than 5 or 6. Keith Hanshaw, hello, hello. Welcome. Mark Sturlson, hello. Thank you for joining. So yeah, the new fish, picking those up tomorrow, hopefully, if everything goes well. The last time we kind of had a situation where we had to like keep canceling and rescheduling, and so we'll see what happens. But kind of excited about that because we'll put those in Junior Metalhead's tank, and she will have a few extra cichlids in her big tank in her room. So definitely very exciting. And I'm trying to think of some other, there's just been so much going on here. Just, it's been crazy. And, you know, I haven't been live for a while because here lately we have been going up to the lake and spending time with Josh's boss and his boss's kids, who I absolutely adore. But we've been going up there on the weekends and hanging out with them, getting on the boat, hanging out on the water. Um, so this is the first weekend that we kind of took a break and chilled out a little bit. Because next weekend I will not be alive because next Saturday is actually Josh and I's wedding anniversary. So um, there's a possibility we'll be going back up to the lake for that, but I'm not sure. What came first, the fish or the cats? I've had my cats way longer than my fish. Yeah, not even a year old yet, and she's a mama. Yeah. I had planned on getting her fixed to prevent this from happening. Tried to keep her in the house, but you know how cats are. If they want out, they are going to find a way to get out. And she got out, she got pregnant. Had a kitten about 4 or 5 months ago or so, and now she's got this one. So I'm hoping that I can actually keep her wrangled in the house this time so that once I know she's good and healed, I can get her fixed. And to answer your question, what came first, the fish or the cats? I have had cats my entire life. So for me, cats. Jenna P, how many years for the anniversary? It's going to be 19 years on Saturday. So pretty big one. Hopefully, we'll get to go up and spend time up at the lake. If not, we'll figure something out. But definitely going to take the weekend just to get away and, you know, just be alone, which is nice to do every now and then anyway. So my mama kitty had 2 litters before. Yeah. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully I can get an appointment scheduled and get her fixed before this happens again. Because first of all, I know that it's not good for the cats to have so many litters back to back. And as young as she is, it's really not good. So with any luck, I will be able to set up an appointment and have the funds to be able to get this done for her so that we don't have to worry about her having any more kittens and she can be out, you know, doing her thing as much as she wants without worry. Hopefully, I am saying hi to everyone. If I miss you, I apologize, but it looks like I am caught up. Something happened to my screen. Oh, you were reading about the koalas with chlamydia. They got it from contaminated feed or water caused by sheep. Where the sheep got it, I don't know. Okay, that's actually crazy. Um, but yeah, that's definitely crazy. What in the world is going on with my screen? And I don't want to mess with it too much. For some reason, my screen is just absolutely crazy now, but it's okay. Um, yeah, like, isn't chlamydia in koalas is supposed to be a pretty serious thing in like Australia and stuff. I bet you can guess how the sheep got it. Genevieve, definitely you have a point. We won't go there, but you definitely have a point. This is going to drive me nuts. I cannot, for some reason, hmm, I really don't know what's going on, but I can. Oh, there we go. Sorry if I froze for a second. I was trying to get that fixed. It was being a little goofy. Um, yeah, that is still pretty crazy though. Contaminated food or water, and then from sheep on top of that. That's definitely strange. Let's see. What else? What else? What else is going on? Mm, as far as fish related stuff, I don't think there's really a whole lot, not too much going on. We, I mean, we already talked about it on Josh's stream. We did finally get the stand built for the 90-gallon salted Kelly tank. Um, so we can start getting the filtration and whatnot ready and get that set up. We do need to build a stand for my 15-gallon Fluval Flex that I have shortcake my axolotl in, because right now she's sitting on a shelf in the basement downstairs, and that thing, it kind of worries me a little bit that it's holding that much water. Um, so that's definitely something that we want to get built so that we can get her off of that shelf and get her onto something a little bit more stable. Um, we did end up having to move the other two axolotls um, down into the basement into our 55-gallon quarantine tank because Mini Metalhead's tank that had her axolotl in it for some reason or another crashed. So we're in the process of getting that recycled and fixed or whatever. So we have both of them together. We had to use a piece of like that egg crate stuff to block, separate them because one of them is a little bit feisty. But so far they're doing good. Sorry, it was reading what Mark Sterlson said about the koalas with chlamydia. It's a pretty sad thing. I mean, seriously. Um, I know I watch Crikey, it's the Irwins because I think that show is absolutely fascinating. Um, and I can't even tell you how many times I've watched an episode where several koalas come in because they need some kind of a treatment. They were hit by a car or got stuck in a fence or, whatever the case may be. And they find out that that koala has chlamydia and they try to treat it. It's just sad because they're cute little boogers. So yeah, aside from getting the filtration done on the 90-gallon salted Kelly tank so that hopefully we can get that up and running soon. Um, we're gonna try and build some kind of a stand to put my Flex on, so that that can stay down in the basement because it gets so hot up here in the summer. And axolotls are cold water fish, so it's just safer for them to be down in the basement where it's much easier to keep their water regulated and cool like it needs to be. When we had them up here, we were actually putting frozen bottles of water into their tanks just to try and keep the temperature regulated and keep their tanks a lot cooler. Um, and that gets really hard because, like I said, it's always so hot in our house because we don't have air conditioning on the lower level of the house. We only have window units in the bedrooms upstairs. So, on a day when it's 90 degrees outside, it's 90, 95 in the house. Um, and yes, we could probably buy chillers for those tanks, but the fact that we've got two in one tank right now, that's probably not going to be a permanent thing. They'll probably end up getting separated and going back into their normal tanks again. Um, Chillers are expensive, and to buy three would just not, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So, um, yeah, it's just so much better to keep them downstairs in the basement where it's much, much cooler down there. Um, and just much easier to regulate that temp because if we need to put a cold water bottle in there, it doesn't melt as fast. Keeps everybody nice and cool and comfortable. Um, Not seeing a whole lot of chit chat. Really not seeing a lot of people today. I do appreciate those of you who did have come on to kind of watch what's going on, even though I don't really have a lot going on, and I do apologize. There's a lot going on in the Metalhead house, but it's not fish related, and I'm not going to be a Debbie Downer and talk about it. Stuff that we're going to get through, but it's just, yeah, we're trying to kind of focus on getting all of that taken care of. Um, so unfortunately, YouTube for me kind of got put on the back burner a little bit. Mark Searle said next to the wine cellar. I don't have a wine cellar. I'm really not much of a wine drinker, actually. Every now and then, but it's not something that I would even need like a wine chiller for, a wine cooler. I don't I don't drink wine enough for all of that. I just don't. Let's see if I can turn this light on. I don't know if you guys would actually, well, yeah, I think you actually can see. Frank the Fahaka is back here behind me watching what I'm doing. You can kind of see him a little bit. Ian, yeah, and that's the other thing we thought about too was the possibility of a fan. Um, but the thing that makes me nervous about that is um, I have a fear that the axolotls would try to escape the tank with no lid on it. Um, One of their tanks actually does not have a lid. However, we keep the water level low enough on that on purpose so that when she does come to the top of the water for whatever reason, to get her a gulp of air or whatever, we don't have to worry about her jumping out or accidentally jumping out, because she's quite spunky, and that's my biggest fear is just that they'll get they'll get a case of the zoomies in the tank and end up out of the water before we know it, and if we don't realize it, then it would be very bad. It would make for a very bad day. Um, Maybe egg crate lid, it will still evaporate and keep them in. Yep. And that's the thing. We do have egg crate, but right now we don't have enough that we can actually make a lid out of it. I need to actually go and buy, you know, another big sheet of it or whatever you want to call it, measure that out and make a lid out of it. Because especially with axolotls, since they don't need any kind of light, you don't have to worry about where you're going to mount a light or whatever for them because they don't like light. They don't need it. So um, an egg crate lid would definitely do the trick. And I keep meaning to go and get egg crate and do that, and then I forget. Sorry, I heard something outside, wasn't sure what it was. Um, Trying to think of some other stuff to talk about, guys. Really not a whole lot of fishy stuff going on. Little projects here and there, a little stuff, stuff that we're just doing little by little at a time. But other than the possibility of getting these new to us cichlids tomorrow, not really too much to report to you guys on. So more than likely, I will probably go for about another half an hour and then call it. The flower horn is doing great. Bobby is still very much Bobby, still very much sassy. Um, very much will splash water all over you while you are on the toilet trying to do your business, just because that's just what Bobby does. But he's doing great in his tank all by himself, living his best life. Super pretty, as always. Um, Mystery snails that I just got a couple of weeks ago because my other ones unfortunately had passed. I thought their tank was ready for them to go into, and it was not. So unfortunately, I killed those without meaning to. But I did get more um, like a month ago or so. They are doing really well. They're doing phenomenal. I have found out that they absolutely go haywire for green beans. And I also found out that they really like sliced carrots. So it's really fun to watch, to prepare a veggie for them and put them in the tank and just watch how fast they all three go to wherever it landed in the tank and just completely annihilate it. It's hilarious. Maybe he's just trying to help by splashing the water. No, I don't know. I If he thinks he's helping, he's really not helping. Um, I don't really care to be splashed by fish water while I'm trying to use the restroom. I think he just does it because of where he is in the bathroom. He is fairly close to the toilet. And I think maybe he feels like we're encroaching on his territory when we go in there, to do our thing. But who knows? I have no clue what goes on in a fish's brain. So, and Bobby's got a big one. But it definitely could be a ton of different reasons. But what I really think it is when we go in there, he just feels like we're a little too close to his home. And that's kind of his way of telling us to get out. And most of the time it works. I get out of there as quick as I can. I really wish you guys could see Frank right now. He's just zooming all over the place, up and down, from the top of the tank to the bottom and back again. Running or splashing water gives me the urge to pee. Yeah. And normally, like I said, normally it's like right when you're in the middle of going, um, that he decides that he's gonna splash water all over you, and it's like, oh man, my flower horn is tiny, but he's already feisty. Bobby was pretty feisty. I mean, he's always been pretty feisty, like even from the beginning. It didn't take us long to realize that he had to be in a tank by himself because he was He was beating up anything and everything. He didn't care if it was bigger than him or not. Yeah, he was quite feisty. And I didn't really care for Bobby when he was small. I think baby flower horns are like the ugliest fish ever. But as Bobby grew, he grew on me, and now I absolutely love him. Didn't really care for him at first, though. I'll be honest. Um, yeah, if that's one bit of advice that I can give you, Ian, it's definitely I definitely wouldn't recommend putting him with other fish. Um, yeah, it doesn't really turn out too pretty, and especially if he's feisty. Yeah, I would definitely recommend keeping him all by himself. Definitely better for everybody that way. But I mean, they're fun even when they're by themselves. I'm not a big fan of, one fish in a tank by itself thing. For some reason, that bugs me and it always has. But sometimes that's just how it has to be for specific fish. Um, I've got a betta that's in a 10 gallon, 5 gallon, 5 gallon by himself. Tried several times to put other, guppies, endlers, whatever in there with him, so that he could have some little fishy friends. He killed them. He didn't care for it. Snails, ram's horns. I put some in there with him. He killed them. Didn't care for them. Now my other betta that I have, he is in a 5 gallon, and he's got some endler buddies in with him and some snails in with him. And he, at first couple of days, he would puff up and he would swim around and chase them around the tank. And then, excuse me, then he realized that there were more of them than him and that they were faster. So he just gave up. And now they actually all go to the top of the water together and eat, and they swim together, like literally side by side. They're like the best of friends now. Misfit reptiles and aquatics. Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining. Like I said, guys, I'm probably only going to go for about 20 more minutes. I just don't have a whole lot to talk about. And it is pretty warm in the house. I want to get back onto the porch where the breeze is really nice and it's much, much, much cooler. So if you have anything you want to talk about, Mark says, I'm the same. The more fish in the tank, the happier I am. Yeah, I mean, I don't like an overcrowded tank either. Obviously, excuse me, there is a happy medium. Um, but yeah, it bugs me to only have, one fish in the tank if it's not necessary. And even when it is necessary, it does still kind of bug me. Like Frankie is in this tank. He's back here in this tank all by himself. Um, but first of all, he's going to have to be, he's a haka puffer. He's going to get big. So, but I mean, right now he's, you know, maybe 2 inches, something like that. Um, so it's just this tank looks ridiculous because you have the light on during the day, and if somebody comes over and sees it, they're like, "You just have an empty tank?" No, it's not an empty tank. The problem is Frank is so small and he blends in with the substrate because this is a planted tank. He blends in with the sand and everything else, so it's hard to see him. But he's growing really well. He's getting pretty big pretty quick, eating really well. So I know it's only a matter of time. 38. Wow. Um, no, I don't. No, I mean, I don't think that really makes me feel any better. That's not terribly, terribly cold. I mean, that's definitely better than freezing temperatures. But I like summer. It's just the humidity finally died down. The humidity is what I don't like. And that finally died down after 3 full days of absolutely uncomfortable humidity. And then one of those days, we didn't have power at work because that entire side of the city had lost power from the derecho that came through. So we didn't have power. We were running on generators, and they didn't want to overamp the generators, so we were not allowed to run fans. So no AC, no fans, minimal lighting from what the generator was able to offer us. And it had to have been well over 100 degrees in that warehouse. That was awful. Um, Thankfully, the next day when we came in, there was power. So, we had AC and fans and all of that again, and it was a lot more bearable. But um, Wednesday was just miserable. Mark says there may be a frost when the sun comes up. Oof. Okay. Yeah. No. Not a fan of that. Really not a fan of that. I like summer weather and I like fall weather. Everything else, no thanks. No thanks at all. Sorry, guys, I'm checking on Mama Cat. I've got her in a cage right here in front of me. She's sleeping and baby is eating, so that's a good thing. She really is a good mama. She's just so young, and I feel so bad for her that, she's got 2 kids yet already and, not even a year old yet. But, you know, when you're promiscuous, what are you going to do? When this one gets old enough, though, and its eyes open, I will be sure to share with everyone how absolutely adorable it is. Um, because it's a tiger like her, but it's got a white face. It's absolutely adorable. Ian wants to see Mama. Okay, give me just a second here. I gotta switch my camera around. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to get this set up so that I can show you what Mama looks like. Maybe. There we go. See if this works. There she is. That's Mama. Chilling out. Yeah, you can't really see baby. She's hugging baby right now. So it's kind of hard to see. I'm gonna see if I can. Baby is right here. That's baby right there. Very hard to see, but excuse my table. There's crap all over it right now. But yeah, that's Mama right there. Harley Quinn. Let me flip this back around. Maybe. This is not easy to do on a phone, especially when said phone is on a tripod. Okay, let's see. Okay, perfect, that worked. John McKenzie, hello and welcome. Thank you for joining. I'm going to cut this probably in about 15 more minutes. Just wanted to pop in and chat with you guys a little bit because I have been neglecting YouTube for a little while. Hopefully that's going to change and I will be able to be more active in my live streams every Saturday now. Hopefully. That's the plan at least. Ian says very cute. Yeah, Mama Kitty is pretty cute. Baby Kitty, like I said, baby looks just like her except for the white face. The kitten that she had previous to this one is her literal identical twin. There have actually been times when this kitten has, chased me down the stairs in the middle of the night when I'm going to the restroom, and I actually think it's Mama Kitty, but it's not. It ends up being Nugget, which is her firstborn female kitty cat. This one, I believe, is a male. Um, I mentioned that already, I know. I believe this one is a male. Not 100%. It's usually easy to tell, like right away. But she had this kitten at like 10 o'clock last night. So, and it was dark because obviously we wanted to keep the environment cool and calm for her to be able to have this baby. Um, so I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure it's a boy. Sorry, guys. Okay. What else? What else? What else? Has anybody had anything exciting happen this week? Anything fun? Anybody get any new fish? New tanks? Anything? While I'm trying to think of something else that I can talk about, maybe give you guys a chance to speak up a little bit. Sure, this is actually working. Okay, yes. Yeah, I mean, other than the storm, the Draco that we got late Monday night, nothing really exciting going on. I wouldn't call us getting a new fridge exciting, at least not in this case, because it was forced. We didn't have a choice. And we had just gotten the one that died on us Friday. We had just got that last year. So it was quite frustrating that the compressor, we're pretty sure it was the compressor because you could hear it kick on. It would buzz extremely loud for about 10 seconds and then shut right back off. And the compressor itself was extremely hot to the touch. So we're pretty sure that's what the case was, but not really sure. Other than the new flower horn this week, I also picked up another beta male red. Oh, sweet. I love betas. They're so cool. Mark says, I'm still thinking of a way to sneak a couple of new tanks past the wife. Yeah, I mean, good luck. Josh doesn't have to worry about that. Usually he's just like, oh, I'm going to get another tank. Okay. What where are we gonna put it? What are we gonna put in it? I just kind of roll with it. But good luck, Mark. Hopefully you are able to be successful in sneaking a couple of tanks past your wife. And if you are, you will have to let us know what you put in it. Or in them, I guess I should say. We're still actually debating on what we're going to put into the 90-gallon salted Kelly tank. Because it's going to be freshwater and there are so many different options of things that we can put in that tank. We're having a really hard time coming to an agreement on what we would like to have in it because a lot of the stuff that Josh would like to have in it are, this tank might be too small. Some of the stuff that I would like to have in it, we wouldn't be able to mix certain other saltwater fish with it. So, but we definitely still have some time yet because, like I said, we have to get the filtration ready. We've still got to get the inside of it cleaned out, get it filled up, let it cycle. We don't even know what kind of decorations, like what we want to use as far as decorations go in it. I, probably some kind of stand. Um, maybe some live rock. We're not 100% sure. Ian, the this 90-gallon that I'm referring to, we are going to make a saltwater tank. We haven't had a saltwater tank in a very long time, and the last time we had one, it was a 30-gallon, and we weren't very successful. Um, Probably because we were still fairly new to just fish keeping in general. Didn't really know too much about saltwater. And then, smaller tanks obviously are harder to keep regulated when it comes to saltwater. So, um, yeah, but this one's a 90-gallon. We're going to turn it into saltwater. Hopefully, we're successful, but we are definitely taking our time with it this time. We're not going to rush. We're going to make sure everything is 100% perfect, hunky dory before we put any fish in it. We're not taking the chance of losing expensive saltwater fish for a silly mistake or for, because we were impatient. This one actually does have a sump. It's drilled in the bottom, the 90-gallon. It's drilled at the bottom, and it does have a sump with it that Kelly gave us as well. Um, so yeah. Oh, Mark, is that the stuff that you would put into the tank if you're able to sneak it past your wife? Some Corey's nano schooling fish, CPDs, and some tetras or rasboras. I love rasboras. I think they're adorable. Don't fall over. I actually have some Harlequin rasboras in my, I think that's a 9-gallon Fluval Flex that's got it's got longfin pepper Corys, my mystery snails, and uh, and then those Harlequin rasboras. And Josh actually has some in the 200-gallon cube as well. So definitely a fan of rasboras. I'm a fan of schooling fish in general. I think they're fun to watch. I think they're extremely fascinating. Okay, guys, I think I am actually going to have to call this a little earlier than I had planned on. Um, little Miss Sophie is pacing the floor like she needs to go out to use the restroom. So I am going to call this, but I will say that I hope all of you fathers out there have a wonderful Father's Day. I hope that those of you who are not fathers, if your father is still with you, I hope that you spoil him as much as you possibly can tomorrow. And for everyone else, I just hope you have a great weekend and the rest of your week. I will see all of you again on Metalhead Stream Monday night. And until then, just have a great weekend, guys. We'll see you later.